Hey y'all, thanks for tuning in to Outdoor and Door Texan. Today I'm going to show y'all my recipe for smoked cauliflower. Maybe your friend's vegan girlfriend's coming to the backyard barbecue, or you're just looking for an interesting side to toss on the smoker. Whatever the reason, this is a very easy and very tasty recipe. So let's get started. First up, you'll need a head of cauliflower. As far as preparation is concerned, just trim off all the green leaves and cut back the stem a bit. Instead of immediately tossing this onto the smoker, we're going to give it a head start in softening up by boiling it or steaming it. The best method between the two is boiling it in water for 5 minutes. It gives you a chance to add spices to the water so they soak into the cauliflower while boiling. But if you're in a rush like I was, you can also simply steam it in the microwave. I place the cauliflower head over a measuring cup full of water, and once the water starts to boil, the cauliflower will get a nice dose of steam. I'd set your microwave for about 8 minutes. Once done boiling or steaming, give your cauliflower a minute to cool down on the counter, and we'll then get started on seasoning the exterior. Toss 1 tablespoon of smoked paprika into a mixing bowl. Now add 1 heaping tablespoon, or roughly half of a ranch seasoning packet, 1 teaspoon of garlic powder, 1 teaspoon of ground cumin, and finally about 4 tablespoons of olive oil. Also, not shown here thanks to a technical issue, I added a teaspoon of salt, so please don't forget to toss that in as well. Grab a fork and whisk everything up until it's a thick slurry of seasoning. Now toss your cauliflower into a small cast iron or foil pan and then give the entire outer surface a healthy drizzle of olive oil. Don't be shy with the oil. You really want it covering every inch and preferably soaking deep into the nooks and crannies. Now, using a basting brush, spread that seasoning paste over your cauliflower, making sure every spot has a smear of red. If your cauliflower happens to be enormous and you run out of seasoning too soon, make a second batch. Cauliflower is a very bland vegetable, and besides the smoke, this is the only other flavor you're adding to this dish, so the more, the better. With all of our prep and seasoning done, it's time to head outside and get to smoking. I'm using my Pit Boss Brunswick vertical smoker for this cook, but anything that can keep a temperature of 250 degrees Fahrenheit while cooking indirect will work just fine. Set the cauliflower in your smoker and let it roll until it's probe tender. You want a temp probe or a skewer of some type to be able to slide in and out of that cauliflower head like it was butter. This particular head took almost exactly 1 hour to be probe tender and ready to take in. Now let the cauliflower cool for a bit until it's easy to handle without burning your fingers. Then you can either cut them into quarters or large steak-like cross sections, or like I did here, simply cut off all the florets and pile them high so they're easy to grab and eat off of a party tray. I like to add a touch of salt and pepper to taste over the pieces, but I've also seen folks pour melted seasoned butter over the finished bites, queso, you name it. There's a ton of ways you can play around with this recipe. Let me know in the comments below how you'd prefer yours. Tasting this batch, the seasoning paste did a great job of sticking to the outer layer and creeping in just a bit to the interior. The smoke really helped round out the overall flavor for the bits that weren't as seasoned heavy. Overall, very tasty, and I was really happy to see the entire plate get cleared off in short order when I set it out for snacking. It's easy, it's customizable, it's something different enough to turn heads, and it is delicious. That'll do it for this one, and thank y'all so much for watching. If you have any questions or tips of your own to add, please feel free to leave a comment below. I always try to make myself available to my viewers, and I'll be happy to tackle whatever comments pop up. Now, if you're new to the channel, I would greatly appreciate if you consider hitting that subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, it certainly helps keep me going, and you'll have access to countless recipes with more great content to come. All right, y'all, take care.